All right, let's get ready to roll. Number 13. And let's take it step by step. First thing I have is y plus 3x less than 5. And I want to get y by itself. I recognize that what's on the same side as y? Just the 3x. Since there's a sign between them, I know I need to add or subtract. In this case, since it's positive, I'm subtracting 3x. And what I do on one side of the inequality, I must do to the other. This cancels. I'm left with y. Then over here, I'll bring that down. Over here, are these like terms? Definitely not. This one has an x, this one doesn't. So when they're not like terms, we just bring them down next to each other. Got it. From here, I finally have y by itself. I could reorder it just to put this first. So I'm going to have minus 3x because that's negative. And since this is 5, I'm going to have plus 5 here. Cool. Now it's time to graph. I'm going to go over to my graph, put in my positive 1 here. Positive 1 going up. Negative 1 going down. As well as negative 1 going back as well. So now I'm going to go ahead and plot these points, right? So I got my calculator to the left. Make sure I turn that on. I'm going to click on y equals. Then I'm going to put this in. Negative 3x minus 5. So I use the negative at the bottom. Negative 3x. And then minus on the side. Well, excuse me, not minus. That's a plus there. Plus 5. Now I'm on my table. I'm going to click second. Then hit the graph button to get the table. And there goes my points, right? So from here, I'm just going to start plotting those points, right? Let me just zoom in a little bit. No, we don't have no zoom in there, can we? Let's go to detach LCD. Perfect. So as you can see now, I could zoom in on these points. First point is 0, 5. So I'm staying in the middle. Then I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next point I'm going to do is 1, 2. So I'm over here. I'm going to go over 1, and then I'm going to go up 2, 1, 2. And then the next point I'm going to use is going to be 2, negative 1. So I'm going to the right, 1, 2, and then down negative 1. You could keep plotting points, or you can follow the pattern. I know this is going down 1, 2, 3, and over 1. So I could follow that pattern. Down 1, 2, 3, over 1. Down 1, 2, 3, over 1. And so on and so forth. Down 1, 2, 3, over 1. So from here, I got to look. Looking at this here, am I going to have a solid or dashed line? That's right. It's going to have a dashed line. And am I shading above or below? Well, if it says y is less than, I definitely got to shade below. Another cheat code, I just create Pac-Man. Pac-Man is not eating the y, so we shading below. When Pac-Man eats the y, we shade above. So let me get my dash line in there. Of course, you're using the straight edge that I gave you in class. Put my arrows at the end. And I'm shading below. So I'm just drawing perpendicular lines, or lines that are somewhat perpendicular to my original line to represent my shading. And that is more than enough. Cool. We got one graph. Let's graph another. So I'm going to have 1 here. Then I'm going to have greater than or equal to 2x minus y. I'm trying to get y by itself. What's keeping y from being by itself? You're right if you said 2x, but also keep in mind this minus sign. We need to get rid of that too. But let's get rid of the 2x first. I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides of my inequality sign. So I'm subtracting 2x here. This cancels, and I'm going to have 1 minus 2x greater than or equal to negative y. Cool. Now I'm trying to get y, so I need to do what? This is negative. It's considered like a negative 1. So I need to divide both sides by negative 1. And whenever I divide both sides by a negative number, first I'm going to do my division. That's negative 1. Negative over negative is plus 2x. And then over here, check that out. I got to change the direction of my arrow because I divided both sides by a negative number. If you want to put y first, you can. And the way to do that is to remember that This is opening up to y, so it should be opening up to y even when you switch the sides. Then over here, I'm just going to put what I have, put my 2x first, it's positive, and then my -1. So we good to go to plot this now. Let's get back to my graph over here. Close this out for a second. Let's go to y equals again. Clear that out. And then I'm going to put in my 2x minus 1. 2x minus 1. Then from here, I'm going to hit my second function button and get to that table. Now I got all the points that I want to plot. And let me just bring that screen closer to us. And these are the points that we're going to be plotting. First, I'll do 0, -1. 0, -1. I got a point right there. Then I'm going to do 1, +1. So 1, +1. I got a point right there. Then I'll do 2, 3. So I'm moving over to the right. 1, 2, then up 1, 2, 3. And let me scroll up possibly. See if I can get a point a little higher. Good. So -1, -3. 1, 2, 3. And we're good to go. Now, are we going to have a solid line or dash line? Definitely over here, we're going to have a solid line. So, of course, use a straight edge. Get my solid line going all the way through. Then the next thing, I read it starting from y. Y is greater than or equal to. So greater than or equal to means I must be shading where? Above. See, when you use the lines that are relatively perpendicular to your original line, it becomes very easy to see where your solution set is, right? Because your solution set are the ones that have the crisscross. So I'm going to put an S here because they asked me, label my solution set with S, and my S is clear. And I've got this point graphed up. Now let's talk about the last part of this question. It says, is the point -5, 0 in the solution set? And explain your answer. Well, let's try that. -5, -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's absolutely in my solution set. Why? Because it's right there in the double shaded area. So I would say yes, -5, 0 is in the solution set. Because, yeah, it's in the solution set because it's in the double shaded area. And that's it, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one.